Hello, everybody, and welcome to our third episode of our Hear the Beat podcast. This is our space where we're talking about Beat and all that's going on at Beat, and where we're also talking about the bigger picture of theater and our experiences in theater and why they matter in the world and why theater matters to the world. So I'm very excited that for today's episode, we have a guest interviewer. Yes, that's right. You get to hear from somebody other than me. We have Bola Gbadebo from, most of you know her from KTVZ 21 as a news anchor, although she has done many other things in life. We also have four of our experienced and wonderful performers here to talk with her about the issue of confidence. With us today, we have Quinn and Felix and Sergio and Joe, all of whom have been in Beat Theater for many years, but they have also stretched outside the walls of Beat. They've done other things in theater, they've done other things in music and art and dance and all kinds of things. So there's a collective high level of experience around this table. They're also very caring, loving, thoughtful, deep-feeling people. So we're excited to hear what they have to say today. And with that, I'm going to turn the interview over to Bola and let her take it away.
I'm happy to be here, and more importantly, I'm happy to talk about confidence. As I said, this is something that I have worked through and struggled with myself, as has everybody. But to hear from different voices to see how they conquer it is really important. I think we all have something to learn from that. So I'm happy to be here and interview all four of you. All right, so for starters, we're going to go around. Quinn, we'll start with you, then we'll go left. First, introduce yourself and go ahead and tell me just a few adjectives of how you describe yourself.
My name is Quinn LeGrand, and I think to describe myself would be colorful and kind, I think. I don't know.
Okay. No, those are strong, powerful words. So what about you, Felix?
Many people describe me as loud. First of all, I am very loud. Sergio.
Some words that I have heard describe me are inquisitive. I always like asking questions and finding like little hidden details and things. And I feel like this goes with like the whole theater thing, but I find myself as a very creative person.
Okay.
I'm Joe, and I hear a lot of people say I'm flamboyant. At least 5 people have told me this.
I guarantee you every single person here has been called that.
Yes.
So would you call yourself that?
Yes, I would.
Yeah? Okay. So from what I'm hearing, the words you all are choosing to use are positive. They seem like there's some positive self-reflection here. I want you to think back to when you first started this class. Quinn, about 7 years ago, almost. Go ahead and tell me how you would have described yourself at the time and what changed.
Oh, I was really nervous. You would see me like walking through everywhere trying to make friends, and I would fail miserably. And I was just this nervous ball of energy. I still am, but I'm getting better, and it helps a lot. I don't know. I was just way too nervous to talk to anybody. I hated presentations. I hated all these things. And so it was just a thing. I don't know.
How would you say this class, and I'll ask each of you the same thing, pushed you out of your comfort zone?
It helped a lot with public speaking. And it also pushed me out of my comfort zone in the way of dressing differently. I don't dress how I dressed when I was little. I used to wear very dark...
Hope so.
No, I hope not. I used to dress in really dark clothing, and I'm glad I'm getting into brighter colors. It's fun, and it expresses a lot of things. And it also pushed me out of my comfort zone to make more friends. So I enjoy it. It's fun.
You said something that points out to me. Colorful is how you described yourself.
Yeah.
And now you're wearing more colors. Why is that important for you?
colors because it can express a human being as an individual instead of putting people into different sections. Just bland colors just kind of are boring and they don't really express a person. I feel kind of sad when I see really boring colors at this point in time. So I just like bright colors because it can express a human being and it can show that it's living and it's not dead.
Okay.
I feel like more dead things are less colorful than alive things.
It's interesting, though, because you made a connection. I don't know if you're conscious or not, but you're associating color with life.
Yeah.
And I'm not sure, but I'm guessing you wearing more colors makes you more of an expressive person.
Yep.
That's very amazing. Go ahead and tell me. Well, first question for you. I asked you like 5 in a row, so break it down. Go ahead and tell me. First of all, how long have you been doing theater?
Okay. When was Elf? So my first musical, or my first show with Beat was Elf, and I guess my first theater production in my life. That was when I was like 10 or 9. Maybe not even then. Anyway, yeah.
So 2016, you described yourself as loud.
Yes.
When you first started, were you loud?
No. Okay, no, well, if their directors, if they told me to, obviously told me to project, I'd be loud, but like, out of my own willingness, I didn't talk to anyone. I don't even think I remember anyone being in the show, because I didn't interact, per se. I guess nowadays, I haven't done an actual show in a while, but like, when I would be like, actively going up to people, like, "Hi, can I be a part of your conversation, please?"
That's how I remember it.
Well, no, I think a lot of the confidence did come from the fact that, like, theater really created a safe space where, like, we are going to be casting people who want to actually be here. And so you're going to be surrounded by people who want to be here, like you. And so it automatically creates that common interest. But I do remember one time, it's like, because when you're included, you feel like you have that worth. It's all worth.
It sounds like you found or are finding maybe community in theater.
Yeah. Oh, definitely. I want to bring this up because I remember, like, on the topic of worth, I remember a long time ago, it was with Elf, and I was feeling really bummed out because I'm like, I have no friends, and I'm not good at acting. I want to do theater. My words exactly. And so my mom emailed Gray, the assistant director, and was like, hey, I don't think my kid would be able to come today or to the performance. It was a performance, actually, and for whatever reason, I thought that I could skip it because I was feeling sad. And then I remember Gray said in the email, this definitely isn't true because I had an ensemble role, but Gray phrased it like I was a vital part of the show, and I love that. And I did the performance, and I felt really useful. I felt really included, and inclusion is good.
So is it fair to say that your idea of confidence or building it in yourself is directly connected to having a community to support you?
Yes, actually. I mean, nowadays I can just find the confidence on my own because it's just so used to me. Like, I don't need like exactly community for that. It's nice, but like it's not like I depend on it anymore. Like, I've fallen out of the nest. I'm fine on my own.
Okay. All right, let's hear from you. First, how long have you been in theater?
I've done it for almost 8 years now. My first real production was with Beat, and it was Peter Pan.
Okay.
I've come full circle.
Yeah, right.
But I just remember, when I walked into auditions, I was extremely intimidated because I saw a bunch of high schoolers and middle schoolers, and I was in 4th grade, I believe. And I was terrified. I didn't know what I was doing. I was forgetting the monologue I prepared for myself. And I was just fully expecting to get a small little part with maybe one single line. And then I read the cast list and I saw that I got John, and I was just freaking out. My mom has said multiple times that it's one of the biggest smiles she has seen on my face. And it was just, I was so excited. And then the first day of rehearsals, that smile went right off my face, and I was right back to being terrified because I didn't know anyone there, and everybody was talking about past performances they've done, Oklahoma, and I I've never seen it before. Like, I was very new to theater. Like, I'd never seen, like, a show before. Like, this was my very first time, and I, like, didn't have any friends. And then this one girl in the cast, June, she went up to me, and she basically invited me to, like, come talk with her and her friends. And I just felt safe. Like, I would sit with them every day, and, like, it was the first time I, like, ever felt happy and safe. And, like, older kids in high school were my friends. And it was just such a, like, fresh new experience, and it made, like, the whole scary part of, like, having to memorize an entire play and having to, like, know your blocking so much, like, easier. And it was really nice having someone to, like, hold my hand through it.
When you got that role, it clearly shocked you. Did you think you could do the role?
I really didn't, because I have changed so much over the years. Like, when I first got there, I was a very quiet kid. I rarely spoke. I sat to myself. I would mostly just listen in on conversations, and I would just let people guide me. And John was like he was constantly fighting to be the leader, and he was a very confident person. And I just, like, I didn't know if I had, like, the commanding, like, tone with me, because, like, I could barely project across a room, and now I can, like, project across an auditorium with my voice.
Yeah.
And so it was crazy.
Tell me one area of your life where what you learn in theater, translates to.
I can't say, like, for sure when this, like, connection happened in my brain, but around one of, like, either my second or third show, I think it was, like, my third, I was just there at rehearsals, and just something, like, clicked in my brain about how I didn't have to, like, constantly put on, like, a mask for everyone, on how I didn't have to, like, change my personality to fit in with other people. I would, like, dress very flashy, and I would always sort of mirror the people who I would talk with, and it just helped me fit in. And then during one of the shows, it just, like, clicked in my brain that I didn't have to do that, especially with people in theater, because it was, like, such a safe area. Everybody was so different, but everybody had so much in common. And so it really made me realize that everybody here has, like, at least one thing in common with me, and that's the love of theater. So if I could use that experience and just build upon it, I found myself being a more social person, and I just saw myself growing.
Thank you. Okay, we're on to you. First question for you. What brought you to theater, and what kept you in theater?
So what first drew me to theater was when I saw my sister, June, in Tarzan, like 8 years ago. I was really little. And, like, even in the very first scene, I was like, oh my gosh. It just totally blew up my little brain. And what sort of stuck me to theater was that, like, I knew eventually that I would get, like, higher and higher on that ladder, that I would just love it more and more as I did it more. And I was like, oh, this is actually really fun. I'll do this.
So you described yourself as flamboyant.
Yes.
Is this a personality trait that you've pretty much always had? And the way I'm making an association here is extroverted, and you can correct me if I'm wrong.
It's pretty much all true.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm not always extroverted. Like, I need my time to myself sometimes. Everyone does.
Do you think confidence, and this intrigues me, do you think confidence, it has many faces, right? We all know that. We're all different people here. For you, do you think it came a little easier?
I think it did, because I did grow up in a theatrical house.
Okay.
Like, my sister was in theater, my parents did theater. Like, I was just kind of, like, born into theater.
Go ahead and tell me, and I'm going to ask all of you this, but we'll start with you. What's one idea you had of confidence, maybe a misconception you may have had about confidence, and then one way you do demonstrate it?
A misconception that I had is that everybody has confidence when I was younger. And then as I like met more and more people, especially when I entered middle school, I was like, wait, not everyone has confidence. Oh. And at the time I didn't really have a lot. And so I felt a little more alone in that way. And then I got to middle school and I was like, oh, there are other people like me. And then because of that, I got a little more confident in myself and what I do.
What can confidence look like? Think of your own journey in yourself.
Yeah. It can look like just waking up one day and wearing this super crazy, weird outfit. Then you show up to school and everyone ends up loving it. And you're like, oh, look at that.
Yeah. It would take courage to do that.
Yeah.
That's pretty amazing. Quinn, hi. I like that way of reintroduction. What is a misconception you had of confidence, and what can confidence look like?
I thought only confidence, when I was really little, was only for the people who were popular. All the popular people had
so true.
confidence. Yeah, all the popular people had confidence. They could dress however they wanted. They had so many friends. I had barely any friends at this time. I felt that it was only for the popular people. And I was so wrong. It can come to anybody as long as somebody tries. I mean, they just have to learn how to give themselves their own confidence. Confidence can come in many different forms. That's just confidence.
Yeah. Felix.
I think actually I share like almost the exact same sentiment now that I think about it. If like specifically in the context of theater and confidence, like I'd associate the leads with like, oh, they got the lead role not only because they can sing well, but because they are really, really brave
And confident.
Yes, and confident, using other words, and confident, like able to present yourself well in auditions is a whole factor of it. I think, ironically enough, it's nuanced. It's both true and untrue. You're gonna get further in life if you do have a lot of self-confidence and a lot of like appreciating yourself, because I really don't think you can like say land a job or like have faith in your grades or like going to university if you don't fully believe in yourself. But that being said, it's not like you're confident and suddenly you get all the roles. Like that is not a thing that ever happens. No.
Tell me what confidence can look like. What it has looked like for you.
What has looked like for me? Okay, for example, being able to walk into the room and being able to talk to people. When I didn't have any confidence, I like specifically remembered, I just walk into the room and just try to observe people first. And I'm like, oh, what are they feeling? Are they going to judge me if I stand at this very specific angle? But now I just kind of walked into the room and was like, hi, guys. So I think confidence is very much just laid back, if anything. You can have a lot of like outgoing energy that isn't laid back, but as long as like the internalized part of it is calm and more under control. Controlled. Mm-hmm. That's a good word.
Okay. Sergio.
I personally have found that nobody starts off super confident, and this has been like proven wrong for like some people, but mostly almost everybody I have met has started like at one point of their life like just being terrified of something and having to build upon that. And I've just seen confidence as like a completely like state of mind, because I think confidence is just being able to like see something that truly terrifies you and just pushing yourself to take that step. Because ultimately everybody has insecurities. Like nobody is like an exception for this rule. But something I've noticed is that truly confident people see those insecurities and they just use the term like fake it till you make it. They just try to push past those feelings and just present themselves as how they want to be. And it's harder for a lot of people. Like it was really hard for me, and sometimes people need like a nice guiding hand. But ultimately, I think if you have like the right environment and you have the right people with you, it can help you to lead confidence. And ultimately, I think that will make your life just better and happier.
Yeah.
You said no one is exempt from insecurities. That's true. I would want to say though, have you ever considered like taking insecurities and instead of faking it, like not ignoring it, but like putting it on the back burner, and instead using your insecurities to uplift what you find not insecure, like your best traits. Like, I don't know if I can actually use any specific examples, but like
Take an insecurity you have and then use that to translate what you're saying. To finish off the second question, what can confidence look like?
Confidence can really look like anything, but I think confidence is just seeing what is hard and deciding to work on it. To like not give up if you don't like fit in or like those kinds of things, but instead like seeing the problem, and instead of focusing on one thing, seeing like, so like if a door is closed, trying to find like a window.
Yeah. Solutions. Looking for solutions. Love that. Felix, we'll start with you. It's a really simple question. Are you confident?
I am very confident.
Joe, are you confident?
Yes, I would say so.
Sergio.
Most of the time.
Okay. And Quinn.
I hope so. I hope so.
Who brought this up? I think it may have been you, Felix. You brought up the point that you kind of have to be out of your comfort zone sometimes.
Yes.
And that has built confidence. She's like, that sounds about right. I would say that. All right. So we'll start with you, Sergio. Tell me a time where your confidence has been challenged by getting out of your comfort zone.
I think it was like my first year of high school. It was last year. I went out for like one of the roles in my school musical, and when I like looked at all the sheet music for like all the male parts, every single one of those parts were a tenor. And something about me is I am a bass. I'm the absolute lowest. So I just saw that I could not hit like any of the notes that my show required, and it was terrifying because every single one of the other guys who were going out for like parts similar as the ones were going for, they could all hit those notes like very comfortably. And so I was like constantly practicing every day before my audition, and every time I hit to those high notes, my voice would just like instantly crack. And I would just like stop singing and skip it over because like the other parts it was uncomfortable, but I could hit them. Then the time of my audition came, and I was singing, and like I was singing the solo, and my voice cracked in front of the director, and I just wanted to like leave the room instantly and just like close the door and just be like, okay, ensemble. But then my director was like, it's like completely fine. We're not like too worried about it. Like if you can hit most of them, you can just go down the octave, which didn't even occur to my brain, like going from like the high part to hitting the same note, just slightly lower. And so I did it, and it still wasn't super comfortable for me. It was still a bit high, but my voice didn't crack. Okay. And so I felt better, but I still wasn't super happy about it because I heard like all the other guys and their voices were like perfect for it. And then in the end, I was like, oh. And like 2 out of the 3 parts I went for, I didn't get like a callback for. And I was like, yeah, I saw that coming. And then I found out that I got the understudy for the other part that I got a callback for. And it was just like weight off my shoulder. Yeah. I was just like, oh.
What do you think is a lesson you got out of that experience?
I think the lesson was I was too focused on trying to hit the like original note, and I like wasn't listening to like my own advice. I was trapped in a room with a locked door, and instead of like trying to look for another way out, I was just trying to jam that door open, and it just like wasn't working out for me. And so I think the lesson I learned was just if something's not working out, you can't stay stuck on it. You have to be open to other solutions. You can't be set on one thing.
Yeah, that's a very good lesson. Quinn, go ahead and tell me a time where your confidence was challenged.
Right back when I got into middle school and COVID had just ended and we were just getting back into school without masks, without all that stuff. And it was scary because I wasn't feeling myself. I hadn't done a show in like a year and a half. And I was kind of just used to sitting inside and doing all that. And so when I got into middle school, I was challenged because I could not remember what confidence was. I was just kind of sitting in the corner. I wouldn't talk to anybody at all. And so I realized after that year, I had to at least try. So when I got into a beat show, that helped a lot. It was very warming. And I finally got to see the people I hadn't seen in a while. And so when I got back, I was more confident and I could finally make more friends. Just COVID was a struggle because I could not remember what confidence was at all. Zero.
I just want to say, I think it's amazing, all of you, for the fact that despite how you felt about yourself at the time, all of you took the initiative to put yourself in a situation where you can build your confidence. And that takes a lot of courage. A lot of people don't do. Felix, go ahead and tell me a time where your confidence was challenged.
This was also around COVID time. During COVID, I was at COCC, and I was not doing any beat shows then, so I did not have that good social outlet at all. And I guess being in a virtual classroom with a bunch of like early 20-year-olds was really weird and nerve-wracking, especially to speak up. Like I'd go into our like the break rooms on Zoom calls and like go over the assignment or whatever, and me having like a 15-year-old voice be like, "Hi guys, I'm so what's this stats homework I forgot." And it was weird because I did get a few people who did ask me, it was like, "Are you touring COCC? Are you trying it out?" I'm like, "No, I'm enrolled." It was very funny now that I think about it. But like then I was like, what do I say? I do not want to be here. And I was like very tempted to just drop out a few times because I just felt uncomfortable given my age and like the circumstance. So then once COVID time was over, go back. Actually, I did take a theater class, I think almost as like the semester after the pandemic ended. And that was also a class filled with a bunch of 20-somethings, except we were all in person, and so they could all see me. And I didn't make any friends. I loved the class, by the way. Like Miss Linford Foreman was an amazing teacher, but like all the students was just like, I don't want to swear. They gave me a lot of bad feedback, energy. All of the above for just. I mean, I found myself competent. I think I'm a competent actor, but it just. They really weren't giving the vibe, which is so funny because people told me that like the bad vibes all in high school and middle school.
Okay, what about you, Joe?
I think also in 6th grade, like right when we got back from COVID, there are a lot of 6th graders like this where they get out of 5th grade and they're used to like being the top of the school. They're like the oldest in the school. They feel like they totally own it. And then they get to 6th grade and their ego is still like super, super like up there. And they get there. Yeah, and they're popular and they feel like they totally own the place. And that was definitely me. And there was like another girl in the class and we butted heads a lot. And she always like won like the arguments we got into. And she just kept knocking me like farther and farther down, which I think was also kind of a good thing because it also like humbled me a lot. And I feel like in a way, like it was good that my confidence shattered a little bit because that made some more room for more growth at the time. I mean, I definitely did not think about that then. Like, it only took me until this year to realize that.
That's awesome.
I have a sense of how you guys express your confidence. What's something you're working on or struggling with to help build your confidence?
What's one thing I'm working on as far as confidence goes?
Yeah.
I'm very strongly working on my conversational skills. So I stutter. I use a lot of ums and justs and but no, I would try to talk to people, and then what would come out of my mouth would be like, yeah.
It's like, I had a feeling there, couldn't express it.
Which is not English. English is my first language, and I do not speak it.
So you want to work on, or are you actively working on it?
Yeah, I'm actively working on it because during COVID time again, this is because that was a big point in my life. 3 years all online. I would only talk to them through typing, so I got really good at typing, but my conversational skills just plummeted.
Okay, Joe, what about you?
What was the question again? I forgot.
What is something that you're actively working to improve on?
The fact that there's always gonna be someone that's higher up, that's better than me, and I just need to be better at embracing that. Yeah, I know there are high schoolers out there that are a lot better than me, and yeah, I just always kind of strive to take that path and be like, yeah.
Okay. What about you, Sergio?
It's something I've been working on. Something I've noticed a lot is, even though I'm a more confident person now, I still catch little glimpses of little antisocial me, just kind of letting people walk over me. A lot of the times when I'm in an uncomfortable situation, I just kind of shut down and I just let people take control. So a lot of the times, if it's people just talking negatively towards me, I just kind of stay quiet, let them speak, or even if it's friends doing something where I feel really uncomfortable by it.
Or pressure.
Yeah, or pressured, and I just really don't want to do it. I just stay quiet, and it just slowly builds up into me until I just can't hold it, and then I kind of just explode into a little ball of anger and anxiety. And so something I've been working on is just letting people know what's going on in my mind a lot of the times. I've just really been working on communicating, and if I'm in a tough situation where I don't know how to react, instead of just kind of going back into my shell, sort of just trying to figure out what I can do and how I can express myself to not let people walk over me.
Okay.